first was introduced to the idea of butterfly dream through an illustration. About a couple years ago, I was invited to illustrate a book titled History of Psychology Through Symbols, written by Professor James Broderick, a psychologist. And those 250 images that were created for the book often ask me a simple but demanding questions. How images can carry symbol across centuries and cultures. Working on that book trained my attention in a particular way. It made me respect symbols not as a decoration or illustration, but more like instruments, a quiet examples of meaning that can survive in different forms and different images across ages and cultures. In Butterfly Dream painting, the starting point was the Taoist philosopher Zhuangzi and his famous story. One day he dreams he is a butterfly, thinking, seeing, flying as a butterfly in his dream. But then when he wakes up, he cannot say whether he is a man who dreamed he was a butterfly or a butterfly dreaming he is a man. We often call it a philosophical puzzle, but for me it's something more intimate. It's a portrait of how fragile our reality is. It's a reminder that what we call reality is not only what we can prove. I am drawn to that moments where the self becomes porous, not broken, just porous, wherever the inner feelings and the outer reality blends. What does the butterfly represent in my work? Zhuangzi's dreams suggest that the boundaries between waking and dreaming is not a wall, it's a threshold. And thresholds are never neutral. They change the person who crosses them. So the butterfly in this context is not a symbol of self-improvement or simple transformation. So transformation as a law of life, but not as an accomplishment itself. The dream reveals how quickly identity can dissolve into something else. And in that dissolution, there is a strange kind of freedom. Because when the self is not enclosed, the world becomes more vivid, more alive, more colorful. The quiet questions underneath the whole story, it's how do we know we are who we think we are? And perhaps more importantly, what happens when we stop needing to know? What I love about the butterfly dream is that it doesn't resolve the question. It remains open. And that's including the story and my painting. That openness is the point. A closed symbols can become an emblem, a brand, but open symbol becomes a space that we can inhabit, we can live in. For me, the most important part of the story isn't spoken, it's implied. The dream makes visible what daily life hides. I think this is why the story continues to return across time and culture and across my paintings. It does not belong to one philosophy or era. It names something universal, as symbol should. The experience of waking up and realizing you are not exactly who you were before, it's so familiar to all of us. But we still often cannot pinpoint the moment we've changed. So this is the territory, that's the territory I am interested in when making my art. The duality, the change, the constant change. For me, Butterfly Dream remains question asked in visual form, because some questions are not meant to be answered. They are meant to be lived with. And maybe that is what the Butterfly Dream ultimately offers. It's a way of looking that loosens the grip of reality without losing the depth. A way of inhabiting reality that makes room for transformation, a way of remembering that what we call self is not a fixed point, it's a passage.